House of Representatives, my name is Andrew Lopez, and I've come here to talk to you guys about HR 2306. First, I'm going to tell you guys about a story. My friend Tom, he lives up in Sacramento. He suffers from insomnia pretty bad, and he's been suffering it for a while. And up in Sacramento County, they've been shutting down dispensaries, and it's been a thing where he's not able to get his medicine, and he's not able to sleep like he should at night. So this is an issue, a medical marijuana issue that we all know of. It's something that you guys should take in consideration. If you guys, especially if you guys want to get reelected in November, it's a thing that that people are pleading out to, and it's not a drug issue. It really isn't. It's just a matter of states' rights. And you as Republicans, you know, the House of Representatives, but mainly Republicans, you guys believe in the private. You guys believe in states as individuals. You know, going back to the times, you guys believe in the states, and we all are for that. So as our representatives, as our state representatives, you should hear our pleads and understand that we all need to accept this as a state issue and not a drug issue. So in this speech, I'm going to argue that HR 2306 should be passed. First, I'm going to argue that federal and state laws are inconsistent, which provides a confusion on medical marijuana. Second, I'm going to argue that HR 2306 is a solution to that confusion. And third, I'm going to argue that HR 2306 will not influence a drug cartel, and it won't allow for people to get addicted to drugs in America. So first, there's a real inconsistency with the state law and federal law when it comes to medical marijuana. The federal government believes that medical marijuana is a Schedule I drug, which means it has no medical value whatsoever. So they classify it with speed, LSD, heroin, all that good stuff, right? So as they classify it as Schedule I drug, there's no medical value. The states believe, 16 U.S. states out of 50 believe that medical marijuana has medical benefit. So recently they've been using their own jurisdiction on medical marijuana, but it's also a federal offense. So that's where the federal government kind of outweighs the states. Even though those 16 states have their core belief on marijuana, the feds kind of come in and take that out. So since the federal government overweighs that, they've been shutting down dispensaries, as you can see in my friend Tom's case. But also, the shutting down dispensaries kind of is a big problem. The Obama administration, especially in California and the neighboring states, I believe it's Oregon and Arizona, they're coming in and they're giving people that own the landlords of dispensaries, they're giving them 45 days to shut down and get rid of the marijuana, or else they're going to suffer federal consequences. And they're going to suffer the consequences. And even though in California, especially, you know, where I'm from, the law has been enacted for 15 years. So this has been a law that has been in effect for 15 years, having the medical marijuana, and now all of a sudden the federal government is coming in to override that. So with the shutting down of the dispensaries, a lot of people aren't getting access to their medicine. Health Impact Daily News states that cancer patients kind of rely on medical marijuana. It helps stimulate appetites, and it gets them to overcome some of the symptoms. So it's also a painkiller, and people use that for, like my friend Tom, insomnia and broken bones and such. So with the shutting down of those dispensaries, it allows for a non-access to medicine, and obviously without access to medicine, people are suffering. So that leads me into the solution, which the solution is to pass HR 2306. With HR 2306, it allows the decriminalization of marijuana in the states. It allows for the states to regulate the ins and outs of what they feel medical marijuana does for its people. And with this, it allows for those dispensaries to be reopened. It allows for people to bring about, grow up in Madera County and Sacramento County. I know that it's been addressed that they need to shut down, but up there's been a lot of people like my friends up in Sacramento who need that medicine. I know it's a drug, but it's an ailment, and it's something that we all need to take in consideration. So with that, there's less people suffering. There's less people that are less people suffering with the access to their medicine. So which leads me to the argument against me, which is you guys believe that it's going to start a drug cartel. It's going to further fund. I'm going to go ahead and quote your head Judiciary Committee Chairman of Lamar Smith. he states that decriminalizing marijuana is going to allow for more younger people to be involved in drugs. And it's going to allow for an addiction, which is going to further fund a drug cartel. So you can kind of see the path, which they feel that it's going to put too much money back into crime, and we're going to be spending more money into crime as Americans and as taxpayers. But HR 2306 doesn't stress that because it's not a drug issue. It's not saying let's legalize a drug and let's have a thing. I mean, you can compare it to alcohol, you can compare it to cigarettes, you can compare it to prescription drugs. 3 of those things are celebrated in America if you think about it. You know, we have 21st birthday with alcohol, it's regulated, and I'm saying with HR 2306 as well as Barney Frank and Ron Paul that it's going to be regulated. It's something that the states can handle and they can regulate, just like alcohol, just like prescription drugs. Those are all things that we tend to get high about or get excited about, and it's something that we need to really think about. Weed is just something that, marijuana actually, is something that just helps people out, really. And there's a lot of medical benefits, and there's things that we need to consider as state voters and as state Republicans or state representatives, that is something that the states should be regulating. So, and also this leads to, what was I going to say? With the alcohol, yeah, and it doesn't further allow younger people to get involved in addiction. You can think of it as alcohol. If you lower the alcohol level, or if you lower the alcohol level, 21 years old. I turn 20 tomorrow, and it's something that you know, I look forward to just to go buy a drink. But if you legalize the alcohol, it's going to allow for less people to not. It's going to take away the thrill. You know, people underage drinking, people smoking marijuana and doing drugs illegally. It's a thrill. It's a reason why people add on to it and accept, you know, oh, it's something cool. If you legalize it, there's going to be no hype anymore. You legalize alcohol, like in Germany, there's no hype. There's no thrill. It's just there. You know, if you're 17 years old, 16, oh, I can buy a beer now. There's no thrill. There's no fun in the game. So it's something you shouldn't really worry about because it's not. It wouldn't be present. There might be a little bit of a high for a little while, but it's going to die out and going to turn out just like that. So in this speech, I argued that HR 2306 should be passed. It's an issue that should be thought about as you Republicans are trying to get your nominations and your elected votes for November. And it's not a drug issue, as we all know. And I want you guys to remember my friend Tom. He's just a 19-year-old kid, and there's a bunch of people like Tom that are suffering from this crackdown on marijuana. It's their medicine. I know it's a drug, but it's something that's proven to ail and something proven to help people out. So in this speech, first I argued that there's an inconsistency with federal and state law regarding marijuana, providing confusion. Second, I argued that HR 2306 is the solution to the confusion, furthering the allowance of states to mandate their laws on medical marijuana. And third, I argued that HR 2306 will not influence a drug trade it won't influence a drug addiction in the United States. Thank you guys.